Coming up, why the Sarasota County School District's new police chief is subject of scrutiny from critics today. Plus, what county leaders say they plan to do to clean up litter and red tide on Siesta Key. And how you can take the family out for some free pro baseball this summer. Your Suncoast News starts now.
You're watching ABC 7 News at noon.
Hello and welcome. I'm Scott Dennis. Thanks so much for joining us. Our top story today at noon, the Sarasota County School District still investigating the man chosen to become its first chief of police. School district officials claim Paul Grochowski is under attack by a small group of people who are dissatisfied with his previous leadership. Before his application to work in Sarasota County, he was the director of public safety and chief of police at a community college in California. The group targeting Grochowski believes he made a mistake by combining two police forces there. As a response, Sarasota County School District is continuing its background check, and school officials say that as long as it's clear, Grochowski will become the school district's first police chief. Litter and red tide on Siesta Key has some beachgoers concerned, but county leaders say they're aware of the issues. Sarasota County's beach manager says turtle season has delayed the cleanup process because the cleanup patrol has to wait to get the go-ahead from Mote Marine Lab before they're allowed to start cleaning up. And that's why there's more trash than usual in the early morning hours on the beach. She adds we can all do our part to cut down on the beach's litter.
Pick up after yourself, and really we want to preserve these parks and beaches for the future, and it takes everyone to do that. So our word is, pack in, pack out, do your part, clean up, help us clean up, and we'll all enjoy the beaches together.
And as for red tide on Siesta Key Beach, Mote Marine reports a small number of dead fish have been washing up, and the respiratory issues so far this week have not been too bad. The Sea Turtle Conservancy out at Coquina Beach in Bradenton today to release a turtle back into the Gulf. Bordy is a female loggerhead turtle that was seen laying eggs on the beach earlier this week. Crews installed a GPS transmitter on top of Bordy's shell to track her movements. Loggerheads are known to travel from here all the way to the Bahamas, Cuba, or even the coast of Mexico. The Conservancy is tracking now 19 sea turtles. This is all part of an ongoing program called Tour des Turtles.
So the idea is it's this sort of a marathon race between 18 different turtles that we satellite track over the summer, and they all compete to see which turtle goes the furthest over a 3-month time period.
And you can stay up to date with Bordy and the other Tour des Turtles participants with the Conservancy's interactive turtle tracker. Just go online to conserveturtles.org. Interesting to see where they're going.
Sure is. I like turtles.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah, good stuff. We have across the region lots of sunshine out there, plenty of sunshine in fact, and a beautiful day.
And heat.
A lot of that.
Yeah.
Yes, absolutely. Another warm day in store for us. Lakewood Ranch webcam set into motion shows blue skies to start. A few fair weather clouds building, but really some drier air has moved in at the mid levels of the atmosphere, and it's not going to allow those clouds to build all that much. So as far as any kind of rainfall to cool us off from those clouds, I really don't see a whole lot of chance of that. Not today anyway. Titan radar pretty quiet at this hour, not even picking up a couple of showers anywhere in the vicinity. So the drier air really has shut down the rain machine. We do have a few scattered areas of clouds out in Gulf waters, all part of that larger scale system lifting up toward parts of Texas and Louisiana, producing flood watches and warnings for that area of the Gulf Coast, but not for us, that's for sure. And consequently, as the temperatures continue to rise, it's going to feel very, very sweltering outside this afternoon. 88 degrees currently, Sarasota, 89 degrees in Venice, 86 degrees in Bradenton. We'll probably top it out today at a close to 93-degree temperature this afternoon, and a feels-like temperature between 100 and 105. As far as the rain goes, we'll talk about when we might expect to see that return in just a few minutes. Scott?
All right, John, thanks. A Manatee County woman dies after pulling out in front of an oncoming pickup truck. Troopers say 22-year-old Ashley Rhodes was fatally injured at the intersection of 301 and County Road 675 around 6:30 last night. Troopers say she tried to make a left turn onto 301 when she pulled right out in front of the truck, which struck the left side of Rhodes's Honda Accord. The 16-year-old driver of that pickup and his teenage passenger were not hurt, and the crash remains under investigation. Right now, the Baltimore Orioles Gulf Coast League team is on the field at Ed Smith Stadium for their first home game of the new season. The Orioles Rookie League team taking on the Twins GCL squad. First pitch was at noon. This is the start of a 28-game home slate, which also includes family-friendly events with community partners, giveaways, and food specials each day. Admission and parking are free, and fans are encouraged to bring a non-perishable item to benefit the All Face Food Bank. For the schedule and promotional details, you can go to our website, mysuncoast.com. New at noon, an award-winning summer reading program is back for another year in Manatee County, and local volunteers are teaching much more than just reading. ABC 7's Ray Collins is here with the story. Ray?
Scott, a great story here. Hundreds of mentors are teaching hundreds of second and third grade summer campers in Manatee County. Last year, the Anna Maria Oyster Bar began this program called Dive into Reading, and now it's expanded to all 15 so-called Title I schools in Manatee County. So volunteers are teaching students how to read, but they're also teaching eye contact, handshakes, basic table manners. The kids get the same mentors each week, so they're building trust and relationships. John Horn says the volunteers are getting as much out of this as the kids are.
Half the time, Ray, I'm not sure who's getting more benefit because the mentors are coming away with, a great sense of, oh my gosh, this is in our community, we all need to help. And we all do need to help with the grade level reading because it's our future is that these kids do learn how to read.
So in its first year, the program last year won a national award from the National Restaurant Association. This year, other host facilities include Gecko's, Pier 22, O'Bricks, and the South Florida Museum. Horn hopes to expand this to Sarasota County next year to include Title I schools in Sarasota County as well. Scott, great program.
Looks like it. All right. Thank you, Ray. New developments out of Washington where bipartisan outrage continues to grow as new images and sounds emerge of the young children separated from their undocumented immigrant parents. ABC's Janae Norman explains why the Trump administration is facing mounting pressure as it defends its zero-tolerance policy.
Heartbreak and outrage over these outcries from children. Audio obtained by ProPublica said to be recorded at a detention center, capturing the raw emotions as kids cry out for the parents they've been taken from. Video inside the country's largest immigration processing facility shows men, women, and children crammed together behind metal fences that look like cages. But the administration saying the 2,000 kids in federal custody forcibly separated from their families are being well taken care of.
We provide food, medical, education, and all needs that the child requests.
The president falsely blaming Democrats.
And I say it's very strongly the Democrats' fault. They're really obstructionist.
Claiming separating kids at the border is a law he says Democrats can fix. But the truth is, there is no law. This policy was created by his administration, part of his zero-tolerance crackdown on illegal immigration. Past administrations allowed families to remain together while their cases were being reviewed.
The United States will not be a migrant camp, and it will not be a refugee holding facility. Won't be.
This afternoon, President Trump is meeting with House Republicans on Capitol Hill, and joining the opposition is Senator John McCain, calling on the administration to rescind its zero-tolerance policy, adding, quote, "It should do so now." Janae Norman, ABC News, Washington.
And the United States is expected to pull out of the United Nations' Human Rights Council. UN Ambassador Nikki Haley warned the move could come if substantial reforms were not made against so-called anti-Israel bias. The move follows months of talks between the U.S. and UN member states. The U.S. also wanted more stringent criteria for membership and the ability to kick countries off the council that have egregious human rights records. The announcement is expected to come later today. And for more on the latest breaking news across the world and here on the Suncoast, as well as your forecast, we invite you to download our app. You can find it in your app store under WWSB or My Suncoast. Still to come in your Suncoast News, why the FDA is considering new warning labels to try to cut down on the amount of sugary drinks across the country. And then later, new concerns for pool safety after a video of a toddler climbing a pool ladder goes viral. Show you why.
When ABC7 declares a First Alert Weather Day, it means we can expect major changes to weather conditions here along the Suncoast.
It means there could be severe, potentially dangerous weather ahead.
We tell you when a First Alert Weather Day is coming because we want you to be prepared.
A First Alert Weather Day is an advance warning. We'll let you know about any changes in the weather when the first signs appear.
ABC 7 First Alert Weather. We're here for you.
Outdoor living is one of the greatest perks about living in Florida. So whether this is your style, or this, or maybe this, contact Superior Pools. They've been building pools from Sarasota to Naples since 2001, and they would love to build yours.
Excuse me a minute. Hi, Dad. No, don't try to get up.
Hi, I'm Julie, a ride-at-home caregiver. And if I'd been caring for Tom's dad, I would have noticed some dizziness that could lead to balance issues. That's because I'm trained to report any changes in behavior, no matter how small, so Tom could have peace of mind.
We'll be right there. We have to go.
Hey, Tom, you should try Right at Home. They're great for us.
The right care, right at home.
If you think it's hot outside, just wait until you see even hotter savings inside. Only at Rugs As Art Hot Summer Savings Sale event will you find the lowest prices on a vast selection of stunning rugs, furniture accents, and accessories. This special event only happens once a year, so hurry in before the best selections are gone. The Hot Summer Savings event ends soon, so don't miss out on the best prices ever. Rugs As Art, Sarasota's only area rug superstore.
The following message is brought to you by Mesobook.com.
People who have been diagnosed with mesothelioma have many questions. How did I get this disease? What are my treatment options? How will this affect my loved ones? You need answers, which is why we offer a free book written by medical professionals who have treated mesothelioma.
Call toll-free at 1-800-777-1366 or go to Mesobook.com.
Soldiers in the Army National Guard serve to give back to their country and communities. Their part-time commitment qualifies them for an array of benefits, such as affordable health and life insurance benefits, education benefits, including tuition assistance, student loan repayment and GI Bill programs, a retirement plan based on part-time service, and VA home mortgages. Visit NationalGuard.com to learn more about all the benefits available in the Army National Guard.
Outdoor living is one of the greatest perks about living in Florida. So whether this is your style, or this, or maybe this, contact Superior Pools. They've been building pools from Sarasota to Naples since 2001, and they would love to build yours.
Now your ABC 7 First Alert Weather Forecast with meteorologist John Scalzi.
So we are heading toward that 90-degree mark. Definitely going to break it again today. Don't see any cooling rains to chill things out. West wind coming in at about 7. Barometer high, temperature 88. Dew point at 75, making it feel very sticky out there. We have across the region right now temperatures that'll probably top out around 93. And if you add in that dew point value, which is at 75, very high, it's going to feel like 100 to 105 degrees this afternoon. So by all means, take plenty of care. Get some frequent shade breaks if you're going to be out of doors working or recreating, and be sure you stay hydrated because this kind of heat can sneak up on you. We're looking at 88 degrees by about 7 p.m. Again, I think we'll be mostly rain-free. If we have any showers at all, they're going to be very small and isolated showers. Didn't even put the rain chance in the forecast because I think the possibility of showers are going to be so small. Say 81 degrees by midnight, and then tomorrow morning you're going to wake up with a warm temperature of 77 degrees. So we're running about 5 degrees above where we normally would be. Titan radar quiet. There's not a drop of rain being picked up anywhere, even in well inland areas with that easterly wind flow. The air comes over the land that's free of showers and heats up and then is transported into our area. So the combination of all those things add up to a pretty warm afternoon. Now we will catch a bit of a sea breeze right along the immediate coastline. Already starting to see the beginning hints of that. And with that sea breeze comes the slight possibility of an isolated shower. But the thing is, the wind, the air above is just so dry that it's hard to see we get much of a chance at all. One lone shower is all I'm picking up right now, anywhere close. Now that is not the case on the other side of the Gulf water. Certainly they're getting plentiful amounts of rainfall. Areas of showers and thunderstorms blossoming, moving onshore, creating 1 to 3 inch rainfalls already, with the potential of 6 to 7 inch totals as we head into the next day or so. So there could be some flooding, certainly urban flooding, as well as some river flooding in that coastal region between Corpus Christi and all the way back really toward the Louisiana Delta region, but particularly around the Houston area. Watch for that. Some freshwater flooding is certainly possible with those rains. And flash flood warnings are up for that area as well. You can see the explosion of showers and thunderstorms. None of these storms talking to each other, so we're not seeing any organization here. This is not going to be a tropical system, but it is quite a rainmaker. Contrast that with the Florida Peninsula, where it's just incredibly dry. So pretty remarkable difference between the two. And you can thank that drier air that has moved in, indicated here by this tan color on the water vapor imagery. That dry air having moved in really does just kind of eliminate the chance of showers. Now, over time, over the next day or two, we'll watch the winds start to transport a little bit more moisture up through the peninsula as the winds turn increasingly southerly. As that happens, the atmosphere would normally start to produce more showers, but as we develop a westerly wind, I think we'll also see the favored location for those afternoon cooling showers over on the other coast for a few days. So that extends that dry period until we can get winds that are more favorable for some shower development, which will probably occur toward the weekend. So a west wind comes in at about 10 knots this afternoon, decreasing to north at about 5 during the overnight. Daytime high about 93 today, warm tomorrow as well, and the day after, first day of summer. 20%, that's about as much as we can give it. Chance of showers through Thursday. And then as we head into the weekend, we'll start to up the rain chance just a little bit. And by Monday, I think we'll return to more average rain chances for this time of year. Scott?
John, thank you so much. In HealthSmart today, Del Monte is recalling several batches of fresh-cut vegetable trays in the wake of a parasite outbreak. The products may be linked to another parasite that left 78 people sick in several states. The company's 6-ounce, 12-ounce, and 28-ounce veggie trays that contain broccoli, cauliflower, carrots, celery, and dill dip need to be returned to a store as the FDA investigates. For now, the only reported illnesses are in the Midwest in states like Illinois, Indiana, Iowa, Michigan, Minnesota, and Wisconsin. And with summer's arrival, many people turn to cold, sugary drinks to stay cool. But since most health experts agree they are not good for you, what can you do to kick the habit? Well, state and local governments have proposed warning labels on soda that include photos linking drinks to obesity, type 2 diabetes, and tooth decay. A new study out of Harvard showed those labels did a better job in reducing the purchases of those drinks, even though the study was small. The FDA says the graphic warning labels may be the next tool to help you put down those drinks in the near future. All right, it's time for lunch. Let's get over to the kitchen and say hello to Chef Clint Michaels, joining us today from Brick's Smoked Meats in downtown Sarasota. Clint, thanks so much for being here today. What's on your menu?
Thank you. Today we're going to be making our St. Louis smoked ribs and the jalapeno jelly to go along with them.
Sounds delicious. We'll see you in a little bit, Clint.
Thank you.
Today, everyone is looking for carpeting that lasts longer. G. Fried has you covered with Karastan. With a legacy of quality and integrity, we provide you with a huge selection of Karastan carpets with exclusive lifetime limited warranties. All installed by our highly skilled, highly knowledgeable team. Come ask us why Karastan is the best and most durable. G. Fried Flooring America. Our world is at your feet.
Get to Sunset Dodge, Chrysler, Jeep, Ram, Fiat in Sarasota for big savings during the Chrysler Pacifica Incredible Sales Event. Get KBB's 2017 Best Buy Award overall winner, the Chrysler Pacifica, for just $23,999. Or save big and get the new Chrysler 300 Touring with an MSRP over $30,000 for just $21,999. That's a savings of over $8,000. Better prices, bigger selection. Go to Sunset Dodge, Chrysler, Jeep, Ram, Fiat in Sarasota today.
Thank you.
What are you doing? You are the best protection she has. Buddy up. I'm Jill Harrington. Please visit HelpSaveTheNextGirl.com and get involved.
Chris Domine is a husband, father, an athlete, even an Ironman. But 10 years ago, Chris's kidneys were failing.
The doctor said if you don't do dialysis, if you don't get a kidney transplant, you are going to die.
Then Chris received a second chance, made possible by an organ donor.
Your well-being changes from loss of hope to better times ahead.
Imagine what you could make possible. Learn more and sign up as an organ, eye, and tissue donor. Go to organdonor.gov.
When my youngest, Addie, was 2.5, she was diagnosed with leukemia. When we first heard that diagnosis, you feel extremely alone. Walking in that Light the Night light with 6,000 people carrying lights, white for survivors, red for supporters, gold in memory of those who have passed. It's the Leukemia and Lymphoma Society's hope that every year there are fewer gold lanterns. Your lantern will make a difference.
Start a team, join a team.
Help us light the night.
There's a lot of fear in coming back to school. I'm a 40-year-old man that walked in there to get his high school diploma. It was very hard for me, but one of the teachers was Miss Araceli. She gave me direction. Every single time I had a question, she'll put down whatever she's doing and she'll sit there with you until you get it. 50% of getting your high school diploma is walking through those doors. The other 50% is doing the work.
Find free adult education classes near you at finishyourdiploma.org.
Caught on camera, a video getting millions of views showing a toddler climbing a safety ladder for an above-ground pool. ABC's Ariel Reshef explains how small children are not supposed to be able to use those, but now this video is sounding the alarm.
Watch as 2-year-old Cody Wyman scales this locked ladder to an above-ground pool. It's the alarming video now viewed more than 18 million times on Facebook. Mom standing by for safety as Dad recorded the terrifying speed with which the toddler clambered up the protective cover.
He was 4 feet from us, and when I turned to see what actually he was doing, he was up the ladder.
This morning, Keith and Tanya Wyman are sharing this video to warn others.
You just have to watch them every minute.
Stress
every
it.
day.
Earlier this month in Texas, 2 toddlers somehow opening a locked door to this backyard, climbing the ladder and falling in. Little Elijah beginning to drown. Cousin Jalen tries to grab him, but isn't able to.
5 minutes underwater drowning, and I pulled him out blue and white.
One of the moms knew CPR. Miraculously, little Jalen survived. There are more than 3 million above-ground pools in the U.S., with drowning being the leading cause of unintentional death for kids aged 1 to 4. Pool experts say never take your eyes off kids who are in or near a pool. If you need to go inside, bring them with you. If the pool is unoccupied, secure it with multiple layers of protection, like a fence around the pool, and installable alarms on back doors, windows, and gates that will sound if a child gets too close. And regardless of the kind of pool, those pool toys, take them out. Why is it a problem if all of these things are in the pool and no one else is?
Because these are very intriguing to children, and they're going to want to go in and get them.
This family does have one of those latches on their ladders, but experts say the best thing you can do is move the ladder to the side altogether when you're not swimming. Bottom line, keep an eye on your kids. Nothing can make a pool drown-proof. Ariel Reshef, ABC News, Oceanside, New York.
All right, let's get back over to the kitchen. John is there with our guest today, Chef Clint Michael from Bricks Smoked Meats in downtown Sarasota. John?
We loves us some bricks. And Clint, you're a first-time visitor here at the station.
I am.
So
Thank
it's
you.
nice to have you here.
Thank
Pleasure.
you. Nice to be here.
I just tasted some of your ware and some of your brisket, and it was amazing. Amazing. What are you cooking for us now? Looks like ribs here, huh?
Today we've got some ribs. I'm going to show you how to prep them and then go through the smoking procedure with them.
Okay.
And then we're going to...
They're different kinds of ribs, I know. So what do you look for when you get ribs?
These are a St. Louis cut, and it's different from a baby back cut as it's cut further down on the rib.
Mm-hmm. What does that do for you?
It gives you a more uniform product, and we get a lot more marbling with the fat through it.
Okay.
And then that's needed when you're smoking to melt through and tenderize the meat. So we take them. First thing you want to do is cut the skin off the back.
And that's called, what's that called, the silver skin? Is that what that is?
Yeah, this is silver skin. At the restaurant, we just slice it 3 times, and that'll keep it together, but we still get some smoke penetration through the bottom.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. And then you want
I always have difficulty getting that silver skin off, so that's a good alternative method there, huh?
A good way to peel these is with a paper towel or a white towel. You can grab right a hold of that, and it'll pull right off of there. Supposed to pull right off of there.
Well, sometimes, oh, there you go. Wow, look at there. How about that?
That's a good tip for skinning them.
Okay, good to know.
A towel grabs right a hold of that. Then we usually cut them down to where they're a nice uniform size. That way everything smokes evenly the whole time. You're not going to have half that's overdone and half that's not done.
Okay, makes sense.
Once they're trimmed, we simply use a salt and pepper rub, making sure that it gets on there very consistently.
And at Bricks, you're not stingy with the pepper.
No, we're not.
And it's kind of funny because you'd think that with all that pepper, oh my gosh, it's just going to burn your mouth today. But it doesn't do that. Once you smoke it, it comes out sweet.
Right. The smoke actually cooks the pepper, and it kind of does its thing to it, and it develops the flavors.
It's really amazing. It's phenomenal.
And this is our jalapeno jelly. Now, we usually start with fresh jalapenos right off the truck. They come in, and then we'll blend these up. They get rinsed in an antibacterial wash.
Okay.
Slice them up, and then we put them in here. You want to get these good and broken up.
Well, for TV, we'll pretend that you've done that for probably how long would you say that would probably
I would say that would take 2 to 3 minutes.
Okay, all right.
Then we'll come over here to our pot.
And we've got about 30 seconds left.
This is the start of our jalapeno jelly. And then we'll add the appropriate amount of corn syrup and sugar to it. And then you want to let this cook for 20 to 30 minutes, stirring constantly. This will go through a couple color changes. And as it goes through, you want to stop when it gets to a dark green. Then you want to mix it with your favorite barbecue sauce. And then we put it right over the ribs, and that's how it's held over. And then
awesome. And what are the cooking instructions? How long in the cooker?
We cook them for 220 for about 3 hours.
Oh my goodness.
We don't want them falling off the bone. We want them tender.
Recipe for it's on our website, mysuncoast.com. You can go on there, click on the dining link page, and Chef Clint's instructions will be there for you. Or you could just go over to Bricks and make it easy on yourself. That's the way I'd do it. Thanks for coming in today.
Thanks a lot.
Always a pleasure.
Good to be here.
Right back.
Picking out a new ceiling fan? That's a do-it-yourself. Installing your new ceiling fan?
No.
That's a don't do it yourself. For ceiling fans, rewires, or anything electrical, play it safe. And call on the trained electricians from your locally owned Mr. Sparky. It's no accident that so many of our customers are repeat customers. Trust Mr. Sparky for all your electrical repairs.
Call 888-8-SPARKY.
This is an important message for anyone with Medicare. You may be eligible for an all-in-one Medicare plan that combines hospital, medical, and prescription drug coverage together with extra benefits that may include dental, vision, hearing aids, and much more. Some of these plans have a $0 monthly premium regardless of your income. That's right. For one low plan premium, or in some cases a $0 premium, you may be able to get coverage for your hospital visits, doctor appointments, prescription drugs, routine dental care, eyeglasses and contact lenses, hearing aids, and possibly more. Today may be the first time you've heard about this type of Medicare plan. The advisors at the Medicare.com helpline are licensed insurance agents who will explain more when you call. Call now to see if you qualify. Call the number on your screen now. Call now to see if you qualify for these benefits. You worked hard for your Medicare. Now is the time for your Medicare to work hard for you. Not affiliated with or acting on behalf of any government agency or program.
If you're looking for the perfect trip that allows you to spend quality time with a family, then discover the great outdoors on an Alabama Black Belt adventure. Create unforgettable memories while hunting, fishing, or biking and hiking. Or play the Robert Trent Jones Golf Trail, now celebrating 25 years. And while you're here, enjoy the flavors of the Black Belt. Book your adventure at our lodges or stay in the Renaissance Montgomery Hotel and Spa. Start planning an Alabama Black Belt adventure today.
Everybody can make something, because I think everyone has a spark of creativity, and the reason that I have to keep making is because I don't think my life would be as fulfilling without it. If you make things yourself, that means you're not cowering in fear. You're out there taking chances. That, I think, is my way of saying I love you to the world. All right, now I want to hear why you make.
Share your own Why I Make story today. Visit whyimake.org.
Every child follows a path in life.
For many, that path will lead them to a door that gives them a place to grow, to learn, to belong, a place to forge their future. Because while many doors open, these doors transform. They did for us. Support your local Boys and Girls Clubs. Great futures start here.
Coming up, severe weather across the country, why some areas are experiencing massive flooding, others dealing with an intense heat wave. Plus, despite ongoing eruptions, what farmers in Hawaii are doing to avoid missing out on millions of dollars from this year's crops. And where a 10-foot hammerhead shark was recently spotted right here on the Suncoast. Those stories and more coming up on your Suncoast News.
You're watching ABC 7 News at 12:30.
Welcome back. Our top story today at 12:30. The severe weather pounding the country, major flash flooding across the Midwest, and now it could be heading down to the Gulf Coast. ABC's Maggie Rulli has more on the East Coast, how it's still recovering from recent record heat in some areas.
A flash flood emergency from the Midwest down to the Gulf Coast.
The street is completely flooded.
In Rockford, Illinois, some 5 inches of rain fell in just over 3 hours.
I've never seen this much rain this quick in Rockford, and I've lived here since I was 7.
The rising waters blowing off manhole covers and submerging vehicles.
Hurry up, give me something to break the window.
This car gets carried away in mere moments with an elderly man still trapped inside. People jump into action, pulling the man to safety.
My dad's a hero.
At nearby Mercy Health Hospital,
Our hospital is flooding.
water overtakes the hallways, forcing patients to be evacuated overnight.
There's a river here. The water's not stopping.
And in Wisconsin, a state of emergency has been declared after a dam failure sent water racing miles downstream, pouring across the border into Minnesota. Flood watches remain in effect for much of the Midwest as heavy rain is expected in some areas. And further south, more flood warnings as tropical weather is expected to pound the Gulf Coast.
Meanwhile, here along the East Coast, we saw some record-breaking heat in some cities yesterday, but now things are starting to cool off a bit in the Northeast. But down south, we are still seeing that scorching heat of triple digits in some cities. Maggie Rulli, ABC News, New York.
All right, meteorologist John Scalzi is back with us now. Extremes across the country
Yes, sir.
right now, huh?
Except in Florida.
Yeah.
But still, we're running above average, no doubt about that, about 5 degrees, but we have nothing like they have in other places. I mean, my goodness, 100 degrees in Washington, D.C., that's pretty crazy.
We have air conditioning everywhere.
Exactly.
Basically.
Well, that's very true.
Yeah.
That's very true. Many places up north do not. So we are looking at today, rain-free conditions for the most part, I think, and very warm temperatures across the area. Tower cam showing pretty flat seas as well out there, so it's a nice day for boating. In fact, I would say on the water would be the place to be. Even though water temperatures are getting a little bit warm out there, it's still better than it would be in inland areas where I have no doubt we'll hit some 95s in inland locations. Showers and thunderstorms all along the western Gulf Coast, as well as a lot of cloud cover out in the central Gulf. But for us, it's not so bad, actually. A few fair weather clouds building in inland areas, but that's really about it. 87 degrees in Wauchula. Arcadia, 88 degrees. Same thing in Lakewood Ranch. Bradenton coming in at 87, 88 in Sarasota. 90 degrees now in Venice. Many locations on their way to the 90-degree mark today. But that's only half the story. If you factor in the heat along with the humidity, that's when things start cooking. The feels-like temperature, the apparent temperature to your body, coming in at about 100 to 105 today. As we head into the evening, we'll probably continue on with rain-free conditions as temperatures fall into the upper 80s, but still overnight even. Temperatures will be warm, dropping only into the upper 70s. Complete forecast for you coming up in a few, Scott.
John, thank you. Hawaii's farmers who live or work along the lava flow are now losing millions of dollars. Jenny and Rusty Perry own a fruit farm on the Big Island of Hawaii, but have to drive a distance from their home to their orchards. The lava flow now covers their driveway, so they've had to use unpaved back roads to get in to try and harvest their fruit crops. In fact, what used to be walking distance now takes about an hour to get to. They had to evacuate their home weeks ago, only taking what they could.
So we weren't so much worried about the crop then. We just figured it's over, you know.
And this is your livelihood, right?
Yes.
How long
yes.
have you guys been doing this?
Oh, 40 years.
I would much rather be here, but we're kind of we don't really want to spend the night here anymore. because it's you can't tell what's going to happen. You can look over there and see the flow going down, and there's nothing that says it has to go in that direction.
The Perrys go back to their farm a few days a week, but always leave by dark, afraid the river of lava could crest its banks. Even if it doesn't, they still have another problem to worry about, and that's the air quality, which could also wipe out their crops. The mayor of Hawaii County suffering a mild heart attack over the weekend. Harry Kim has been very busy lately as that Kilauea volcano continues to erupt. He says his wife called 911 after he experienced some discomfort, which came just one day after doctors diagnosed him with a relapse of pneumonia. Kim is now being kept in the hospital to rest. Happening here in Florida, qualifying for candidates looking to run for office across the state this year have until noon on Friday to qualify. The most prominent candidates will qualify in the race for governor. So far, Agriculture Commissioner Adam Putnam and Congressman Ron DeSantis are squaring off for that Republican nomination. For the Democratic nomination, there's between Tallahassee Mayor Andrew Gillum, former Congresswoman Gwen Graham, businessmen Jeff Green and Chris King, and former Miami Beach Mayor Philip Levine.
And I think that what people are looking for is folks that come from a different background and then go into government as opposed to making government your entire life.
Looking ahead, Florida's primary election coming up on Tuesday, August 28th, and the general election set for November 6th. Could the next Spielberg or Lucas be right here on the Suncoast? Well, kids ages 7 to 17 are getting the chance to take part in this summer's Sarasota Film Camp, where they'll learn all stages of the filmmaking process, from producing to screenwriting, cinematography, and post-production. Students are studying some of the big names in Hollywood and even getting the chance to make their own YouTube video.
About different angles and about different camera views and how lights affect how it is, and how a different camera can have a different wide angle lens and stuff like that. I'm learning a lot about how to improve my videos.
At the end of the camp next month, a screening will be held so that everyone gets a chance to see the films they created at camp. Looking ahead, the city of Northport is encouraging residents to plan ahead when it comes to parking for its 4th of July celebration and fireworks show. A traffic plan has been posted, including parking lots, road closures, and traffic flow for the signature Northport Freedom Festival. It'll start at 6 p.m. on the 4th of July at Northport High School. For more details on the event, just look for this story at mysuncoast.com. And then take a look at this. A hammerhead shark caught on camera right off the coast of Anna Maria Island. The ABC7 viewer who sent this to us says they were fishing near Bean Point, which is less than a mile away from Anna Maria, when they came across the 10-foot shark. As they got closer, they saw the shark chasing and catching a tarpon, its favorite food, before swimming away, belly full. Still to come in your Suncoast News, how experts say you could buy a home without putting any money down in a down payment. Stay with us.
If you don't want to fall immediately into love, look away. If you don't want to awaken a desire for excellence, look away. If you don't want to be seduced, please look away.
Rediscover your passion for driving at Sunset Maserati Alfa Romeo of Sarasota.
The following message is brought to you by Mesobook.com.
People who have been diagnosed with mesothelioma have many questions. How did I get this disease? What are my treatment options? How will this affect my loved ones? You need answers, which is why we offer a free book written by medical professionals who have treated mesothelioma.
Call toll-free at 1-800-777-1366 or go to mesobook.com.
WWSB ABC7 is an equal opportunity employer, and we're looking for qualified people to join our dynamic team. For a list of current openings and to apply online, visit www.mysuncoast.com/contact/employment. If you're a motivated team player and you want a rewarding career in a fun, fast-paced working environment, WWSB ABC7 could be the perfect fit for you. Check out our list of openings now.
Thanks to the Leukemia and Lymphoma Society, what was once impossible is happening today for thousands of patients with blood cancer.
I live.
I live. I live. I live. I live. She lives.
Because of the research done by the Leukemia and Lymphoma Society in the battle against blood cancer.
If you had a chance to support the research that is saving lives, what would you do?
Picking out a new ceiling fan? That's a do-it-yourself. Installing your new ceiling fan?
No.
That's a don't do it yourself. For ceiling fans, rewires, or anything electrical, play it safe. And call on the trained electricians from your locally owned Mr. Sparky. It's no accident that so many of our customers are repeat customers. Trust Mr. Sparky for all your electrical repairs.
Call 888-8-SPARKY.
So I kind of grew up all across the country. I come from 5 generations of military men. My dad is still active duty. My grandpa is retired Marines. I like going for runs with my dog. I love, taking her out to the dog beach over in Venice. There are so many things here to do on the Suncoast. My goal every day when I come into work at ABC7 is to tell your stories, give you that major local news and those details that you really care about. I'm Jacqueline Matter, and I'm here for you.
Now your ABC7 First Alert weather forecast with meteorologist John Scalzi.
Current air temperature coming in at 88 degrees. We have a dew point value of 75. That is a warm dew point, meaning there's lots of water in the air, a lot of water vapor in the air, and it makes it feel really sticky and humid. A little bit of fair weather cloudiness, but no rain showers in progress. I think we'll probably top it out at around 93 degrees with a feels like temperature over 100. And then as we head into the afternoon, under rain-free skies for the most part. Oh, there may be an isolated shower pop up, but they will be very isolated. I don't think we're going to see much at all in the way of rain showers. As we head into the evening, we'll drop down into the 80s, but it'll still be kind of a humid evening. As far as radar goes, pretty quiet out there. Not a whole lot of activity ongoing. Don't expect to see much, even over on the other coast with that easterly wind flow, where we normally would see a few showers starting to pick up. Not seeing much. And the reason is that dry air aloft at mid-levels just kind of choking off the rain machine. We got some showers back to the west. In fact, heavy showers along the Texas coastline. That's that system, that same system that we started tracking about 2 weeks ago down just off the coast of Nicaragua, and we watched it come into the Gulf waters and lift northward up toward Texas and produce the heavy rainfall there. But contrast that to all the dry air over the state of Florida and basically some very quiet conditions everywhere. Now, here's what will happen over the next several days. High pressure, the dominant weather feature, brings us that easterly wind flow. It's a warming wind. It keeps us warm. Then as that high sinks southward over the course of the next several days, our winds start to shift to a more westerly direction. Well, normally a westerly wind would tend to bring us showers in the morning, followed by some inland storms later in the day. But the air is still very dry aloft. Plus, we're going to see, with that westerly wind flow, the majority of whatever showers we do get be focused on the other coast. So we're going to really reduce the number of showers that we get for several days until we can lighten the winds sufficiently that those afternoon sea breezes have the trigger mechanism necessary to kick off showers. That'll probably happen this weekend. So we'll have a wetter weekend, very few storms around until then, and warm and humid conditions. The only thing is that by Thursday, when that wind starts shifting off of Gulf waters, it might be just a little bit cooler, but not all that much. Water temperature is now up pretty close to the 90 mark. Pretty quiet in terms of red tide, but we do have 2 locations in Comus and Venice that are reporting some toxins in the air, but those things shift all the time, and you can always go to visitbeaches.com for latest information. West wind coming in at about 10, and the forecast for the next several days keeps us warm. And then as we head into the weekend, we'll probably drop our temperatures just a little bit. Don't forget, first day of summer on Thursday. And we'll add in some better rain chances as we increase moisture, lighten the winds, and allow the sea breezes to do their thing. As we head into Monday, we'll return to the sort of average kind of rain chances for this time of year, about 60%, 50%. Back to you.
John, thanks. In consumer news, for many first-time homeowners, coming up with the money for a down payment can be the most difficult part of that process. But experts say there are several programs out there right now to get you into a house with zero or very low out-of-pocket costs. Mary Maloney has a closer look.
Buying a home can seem out of reach, but the days of putting down at least 20% of the price of a home are over.
If you're thinking you still do, you've got a lot of catching up to do.
Real estate experts say there are many options to put down much less or even nothing at all. Here are some options to consider. Try a FHA loan through the Federal Housing Administration. It requires less money down and lighter credit history requirements.
These loans apply all over the country. So my advice to you would be to talk to a real estate agent and ask them if they're aware of any of these low or no down payment programs.
If you're a veteran, take advantage of VA loans, which require no money down.
If you've ever been in the military and you're renting, I highly suggest you contact a real estate agent or a lender or both and find out what your situation is, what you can buy a house for in your area.
Experts also recommend checking down payment assistance options available statewide, like housing grants.
This client in particular that I worked with, she bought a house for $300,000 and she got 5% back, which means she got a grant of money she did not have to pay back for $15,000.
There are also conventional low down payments insured by the federal government.
So I really want to encourage you, if you would like to own a home, to go find out what it would take to get there and put a plan in place to put yourself in a position where you can.
I'm Mary Maloney.
The world's biggest advertiser, Procter & Gamble, is pushing for gender equality in the ad business. The consumer giant makes spots for products like Tide, Bounty, Old Spice, Pampers, Gillette. Well, now the company is setting a goal to have women direct at least half of its commercials by the year 2023. Women currently are directing only about 10% of those commercials. The company plans to team up with Queen Latifah and Katie Couric as part of its mission moving forward now. The U.S. Transportation Department releasing its latest list of most punctual airlines. 17 airlines in all reported flight operations to the department, and Hawaiian Airlines had the highest percentage of on-time arrivals at all U.S. airports in April. 87% of their flights were on time or within 15 minutes of their schedules. Close second was Delta with 86% of on-time arrivals. Carriers with the lowest rates, JetBlue, Frontier, and Southwest. Gas prices are down again this week, but that downward trend may not last much longer. 44 states saw drops in gas prices this week compared to last. Here in Florida, our prices are down about a nickel, but AAA says gasoline demand has spiked recently, which means prices will likely go up again sometime soon. Another factor in the future to look at when OPEC meets and decides just how much they'll be producing for the rest of the year. Here on the Suncoast, it may be the off season, but the Tampa Bay Lightning are busy giving back to their youngest fans here on the Suncoast. They donated street hockey equipment, including sticks and practice vests, to kids at Manatee County YMCA's Camp Dash.
First year that we've run this camp, it's to combat learning loss in a very important neighborhood here in Manatee County. And the 80 kids will really appreciate the Lightning and the equipment that they're giving us today.
Today's donation was part of the Lightning's Equip the Thunder program with the goal of donating 500 sets of street hockey gear to students across the area. Well, the Florida Studio Theater's third production of Always Patsy Cline is being extended now through June 24th. Let's head over to John now, who's with the star of the show. John?
Meredith joins us now, who is one of the stars of the shows. It was a two-person show, is that what it is?
Two-woman show.
Two-woman show. And you hail from North Carolina, where you got country music in your blood.
I sure do, yeah. I grew up singing country music and grew up listening to Patsy Cline, actually. My mom listened to her all the time, so I was a big fan.
You kind of just felt right into this.
I did. It's something I've always wanted to do, actually, so I'm thrilled to be doing it.
Now, the name of the show, Always Patsy Cline, it's not like, yeah, Patsy Cline forever. It's not that sort of thing, but a part of it is that, but it has a deeper story.
Yeah, it's a lot of meanings. She signed her letters, Love Always, Patsy Cline, and the show is about her relationship with one of her biggest fans, who she ended up having a pen pal relationship with.
Really sweet story.
Amazing.
And unique.
You would think that it isn't true because of how incredible it is, but it is. It's true and it's lovely, and you get to see this view of Patsy through the eyes of a fan. And she's just always with us. Her music lives on forever.
She did an amazing amount of work in a limited life on this earth.
She did. She died when she was 30 years old, which is remarkable. The amount of music she produced and the lasting effect.
Give us a few titles. People will recognize them, I'm sure.
Crazy, Walking After Midnight, I Fall to Pieces is a huge one. a fan favorite. You can always tell the fan favorites when they applaud at the start of the song, which is really sweet. So.
And you do all those songs in the show itself?
Yeah, I actually sing 26 songs in the show.
Wow.
It's a lot.
But it's not just music, right? Don't you also get behind the character a little bit?
Oh, yeah. I mean, there's a good amount of acting and mostly singing, but there's scene work as well.
You learn a little about Patsy Cline and
oh gosh, you learn a lot through Louise. She's the narrator. But you learn about Patsy's history through the songs, the way they put them in the show too. So.
Well, this is your second show at Florida Studio Theater, so it's great to have you back.
It is. It's great to be here. I love Sarasota.
Isn't that great?
I love getting here and being warm, getting out of New York for a little bit.
It's very warm right now. Yeah, it sure is. Of course, it's warmer in New York. They've got to.
It is. It's crazy there.
It is crazy.
I can jump in the ocean here at least really quick. So.
Exactly. Well, thank you for stopping in today. We really do appreciate it. We have some
so
information for you on the show. As we said, extended through July 1st, and tickets are available at floridastudiotheater.org, or you can call the box office at 366-9017. A real crowd-pleasing show. Everybody says it's
wonderful.
Fantastic. Can't
the
wait to see it
audiences are
myself.
fantastic.
Yeah, thank you so much for coming in today.
Thank you
really
so
appreciate
much.
it.
Thank you.
Scott.
All right, John, thank you. Still to come in your Suncoast News, how Dave Matthews Band's new album debuted at #1 again, nearly 30 years after they first formed, their iconic group.
Get more for your money at Sunset Subaru in Sarasota. Subaru vehicles hold their value better than any other brand for 2018, according to ALG. And Subaru is Kelley Blue Book's most trusted brand for 4 years running. The Subaru Impreza is an IIHS top safety pick for 11 years running. Lease a new Subaru Impreza today for just $155 a month. Or get 0% financing with 0 down. Get more for your money. Go to Sunset Subaru in Sarasota.
Did you know you could get life insurance for less than 32 cents a day? With Guaranteed Acceptance whole life insurance through TruStage, you can get up to $25,000 in protection with a single phone call. TruStage can help free your family from immediate financial stress when you're gone.
Utility bills, mortgages, car payments, those are a lot of things that can add up pretty fast.
And even if you're on a fixed income, prices fit your budget, starting at less than 32 cents a day. Plus, your price will never increase and your benefit will never decrease. And with no medical tests or health questions, you cannot be turned down for any reason. Call 1-800-842-7189. Now, for a free, no-obligation quote, TruStage offers plans to fit your budget. Help protect your family from immediate financial burdens after you're gone with Guaranteed Acceptance whole life insurance through TruStage. Call 1-800-842-7189 now.
Soldiers in the Army National Guard live up to a set of time-honored principles.
I will always place the mission first.
They stand ready to respond to any crisis.
I will never accept defeat.
They serve in their communities as citizens and as soldiers.
I will never quit.
They train part-time to be ready to serve at all times.
I will never leave a fallen comrade.
Learn more at nationalguard.com.
It's summer on the Suncoast, and you know what that means. It's Friday Fest season.
And you are invited. Join ABC7 for the Van Wezel Performing Arts Hall's free outdoor summertime concert series.
Jam to dance music by Ja Movement on June 22nd. The Movement is sure to get you dancing.
With food trucks, beverage vendors, and more, it's the perfect spot to enjoy great music and a summer sunset over the bay.
For more information, go to this number or go to mysuncoast.com/FridayFest.
Ever since I can remember, I've been intrigued by industrial design and the optimization.
Wait, that's passion? Ever since I can remember, my passion has been industrial design. We need 3D printers for Miss Adams' engineering program so that we are ready to solve 21st century challenges.
Impressive. Think It Up is a new initiative to support student-powered, teacher-led learning projects. Students and teachers, how can you spark great learning experiences in your classroom today? Think It Up.
In entertainment news, a star of Incredibles 2 gets real about the Oscars. David Daniel has that and more in today's Hollywood Minute.
You got everything under control, right? What the?
Samuel L. Jackson's character Frozone gets a little freaked out in Incredibles 2, but Jackson himself has been around for a while and admits he's become jaded to some things, even big Hollywood traditions.
It's only awesome to go to the Academy Awards the first time. You know, after that, it's like, oh man, I gotta be in the car at 1 o'clock. Show's not till 5. When we get on the red carpet, it takes 3 hours, and we gotta sit there through the whole show. They don't even give gift bags anymore. Why are we going to this? You know, so yeah, it becomes very different.
Will Ferrell is giving streaming and singing a try. The comic actor has signed with Netflix to write and star in the comedy Eurovision, about the long-running international TV music competition that helped launch the careers of ABBA and Celine Dion.
My sister is a bit much.
How can I help you? You've been standing in line all this time and you don't know what you want. Okay, you could just stand right there and think about it.
Tiffany Haddish and Tika Sumpter play very different sisters in Tyler Perry's next movie, Nobody's Fool. The first trailer just dropped. The comedy hits theaters, and Tiffany hits the floor November 2nd.
How you get sparkles in the back of an animal? What is this, a Care Bear?
In Hollywood, I'm David Daniel.
Family and friends will say their farewells to designer Kate Spade Thursday in her hometown of Kansas City. Spade took her own life June 5th in her Manhattan apartment. A mass will be held in Kansas City, Missouri. Known as Katie to family and friends, the designer and handbag icon is described in her obituary as kind beyond words. In lieu of flowers, her family asked for donations to be made to a no-kill animal shelter in Kansas City. Dave Matthews Band just set a couple of records with their new album, Come Tomorrow. It just debuted at #1 on the Billboard 200 album chart with the biggest physical sales week of the year and the biggest sales week for a rock album in 4 years. It's also the band's 7th consecutive studio album to debut at #1, and no other band has ever done that before. Hard to believe. Finally, one Minnesota town will soon be looking for a new mayor, and they are sure to have a doggone good time finding a replacement. Mayor Duke has done it all since he took the job after winning in a write-in candidate campaign nearly 4 years ago. So from parades to media interviews to dog shows, he's now the star of a new book, which follows him from election to his appearances on national television. Duke's owners say retirement will be tough, but every dog gets his day, and the town plans to celebrate Duke in August for all he has done for the community.
That is a big dog.
It is a large dog.
That's a large dog.
Ready
That is
to
a lot of brushing.
Thanks so much for being with us. Have a great day out there. Stay cool, and we'll see you again at 5.